This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for July 28th, 7:30 p.m. Well, we're keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Don in the Gulf of Mexico heading towards the Texas coastline. Should be there late Friday or early Saturday morning. Our current feature is Corpus Christi, Texas. I'll show you some neat images from the drop-down menus on the Corpus Christi, Texas page. But you can get all the latest localized information from Texas as the system approaches. And of course, we also have the countdown clock activated at Hurricane City right underneath Corpus Christi, Texas. 1 day, 3 hours, and 26 minutes. Now that is the wind field of sustained tropical storm force winds approaching the coastline in 1 day, 3 hours, and 26 minutes, or translated to late Friday night, probably around 10 p.m. at night. This should be, the worst conditions should be arriving in South Texas. So let's go ahead and take a look at the HurTrack program first of all. Now, here is the circle of tropical storm force winds, and as you can see, it's not very big, but Corpus Christi is the dead on target according to the HurTrack program and the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. And this is how we calculate the countdown clock at Hurricane City, is using the HurTrack program. Sustained wind force, wind field coming into Corpus Christi. Now this could shift to the south. I'll show you some models in just a minute. But that is the latest situation. It looks like landfall late on Friday, going into Saturday potentially for South Texas. Well, let's take a look at the visible loop of our system here, and you can see that the system is not really well organized. And the reason is because we have a low-level circulation that's up in the northwest quad of the system. Now, what you like to see happen with developing tropical storms is you like to see the center, hypothetically, you'd like to see the center, if you want to develop system to go ahead and develop, you'd like to see the system right, the center right in the middle of our system, right in here, and then the clouds fanning out like this and building up into the atmosphere. But what's happening with our system is we have northerly wind shear like this on the back side of our system. There's about 15 knots of wind shear from the north, and this is almost, you could actually say it's like a ball and chain situation. Pretend like the ball is down here, and we have a string attached to our tropical storm Don, and this ball down here, meaning the northern wind shear, is actually dragging on this system, and it's not allowing the clouds to build over the center of circulation to allow this system to strengthen into a hurricane. And most of the models are now indicating this should remain a weak tropical storm as it moves into the South Texas coastline. It's just not going to have a whole lot of chance to develop in favorable conditions. So let's take a look at some of our images. Now here's the wind shear analysis map from the University of Wisconsin. And again, this confirms what I just said on the visible shot, and that's the northerly wind shear on the backside of the system, preventing this from developing. You like to have a high-pressure system directly over the top of a developing tropical storm, and this way the clouds can fan out and the system can build up into the atmosphere. In fact, when the hurricane hunters went out there earlier, and as well as the first time they went out to investigate this system, they found that the system was not vertically stacked. In other words, the low-level circulation was not aligned with the mid-level circulation in the atmosphere, and that's an indication of wind shear, and it's not able to align itself. Now here's the wind field. Now these are found with the thumbnail images below the tracking map at Hurricane City. It's a new feature for this hurricane season. You click on any of the images and get what localized or zoomed in information on the tracking maps. But look at how small this tropical storm force wind field is. I mean, just a tiny little thing here. And when this gets into the coast, it's going to depend on who gets the core of the system is going to get the gusty winds to tropical storm force. But if you're 50 miles away, you might not get much, if anything, from this system. Now here are the models. Again, they've come tightly clustered. The last couple days, there's been some scattering in the models, but now they're pretty tightly clustered. I mean, the northern extent is just north of Corpus Christi, and the southern extent takes it down into Kennedy County, Texas. So it looks like it's going to be a bullseye right into Corpus Christi. Again, some of the models are leaning just south. I'll give you some stats on the model consensus in just a minute. And here is the expected wind field. And notice, again, very tiny sliver of tropical storm force sustained winds right in there. That's about it. In the yellow area are simply gust tropical storm force, and that's going to be coming in the wee hours of the morning. Saturday morning is probably when they're going to get the worst effects of this in the Corpus Christi area. Here is the Bob Hall Pier near in the areas that should be affected by tropical storm Don in the next 24 hours or so. Notice the conditions are pretty calm there, just a little light to moderate chop on the ocean there. And here's another typical coastal shot of the Corpus Christi area. These links can all be found on the Corpus Christi page. Just click on Corpus Christi next to the tracking map and get all this information. Now, another thing I wanted to show you is the drought situation. And actually, I had that up here. What happened to it? I think we lost that. But what I was going to mention, I was going to show you a map of the drought situation in Texas. We don't have that map available. Let me see. Nope, don't have that map available. But unfortunately, the very southern tip of Texas, they've had a little bit more rainfall than areas north of Corpus Christi, which could really use the rain. And it looks like this may travel a little bit further south than what they had anticipated. So areas north of Corpus Christi might not get much rain out of this at all. We got to hope this consolidates a little bit, gets a little more stronger so we can get some more rain and maybe travel a little bit further north, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So let me take a look at Tropical Atlantic's map here. Now, this is the GFTI model up on the screen. This is the best performing model going out 96 hours, and this has it coming in just north of Corpus Christi, Texas. But if you run all the models on this right-hand side of the screen at tropicalatlantic.com, we ran about 46 models that actually made landfall or did not, are not forecasting a direct hit on Corpus Christi. In other words, north or south of Corpus Christi. We registered 46 models. 81% of the models are now taking it south of this line of Corpus Christi and south. 81% of the models want to take it south of Corpus Christi, and only 20% of the models take it north of Corpus Christi. So it looks like this is going to be a southern landfalling system, probably in the Kennedy County area be the most likely scenario, or south of Corpus for sure. But and by the way, the H-WRF model has been the best performer on the intensity of the system, and the H-WRF keeps this as a very weak tropical storm, maybe 40 miles an hour tops at landfall. So I guess they're indicating that that wind shear is going to continue as this moves in toward the coast. All right, I think that's about it for our images. I thought we had one more image, but I guess not. Anyway, the front page of Hurricane City, let me go ahead and animate this one more time with the HurTrack program so you can see what the future course of Tropical Storm Don is. Not much to be concerned about. A little bit of wind and rain for Corpus Christi. It looks like this is not going to be a major deal. One more thing I wanted to note on the map at Hurricane City. Keep an eye out in the east of the Leeward Islands, as we may have a tropical depression try to form down here over the next few days. Some of the global models are indicating we may see a tropical depression form somewhere near the Lesser Antilles down here in the next few days. So we'll keep an eye on that. That'll be the next invest on the map. Well, that's it for now. There will be no broadcast on Tropical Storm Don. In fact, I may not do an update video tomorrow unless things significantly change with the tracker intensity. But that's about it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.